Disturbing new numbers for you tonight about just how dangerous it is to be a driver these days.
Distracted driving is becoming a bigger problem every year, but new figures from AAA are shedding light on just how bad it really is right now. Chris Rogers takes a look at those numbers for us and joins us now with a breakdown. Chris.
Well, guys, whether it's sending a text or taking a phone call or just changing the music, all of us are probably guilty of distracted driving at one point or another. And every time you glance down, it could mean the difference between life and death. You see them almost everywhere. Distracted drivers whose eyes are anywhere but the road.
You can actually look from your car in the rearview mirror of their car and see them looking down.
Saw almost a couple accidents, people run into each other, but just got to be vigilant.
So what's new? We know how big of a problem distracted driving is. All you need to do is take a look at the driver next to you. But startling new numbers released by AAA give new insight into just how widespread it's become. 88% of drivers say texting behind the wheel should be banned. Still, 45% admit they read messages while driving, and more than a third say they send one, making their risk of a crash 8 times higher. It has now become the biggest danger you will face on the road today.
We know that distracted driving tops the list of drivers as the growing danger on the road, and that's ahead of other risky behaviors like aggressive driving, driving while using drugs, and even drunk driving.
So 6 months ago, Texas took action. A statewide texting and driving ban was put in place, but so far it hasn't really put a dent in the problem. We took a look at the numbers. Less than 10 tickets have been issued in Waco, Temple, and Killeen combined, and statewide, the story's not much better. DPS says they've issued 341 tickets since September 1st, but that makes up for less than 1% of all drivers who admit to using their phone behind the wheel.
You got to really stay focused, like 110% of the time.
But that's not enough for people like Cindy Cooper. Her dad was killed when a distracted driver blew a stop sign.
His motorcycle was scattered along the side of the road. She ran right by him and never called 911.
And he's just one of thousands nationwide. In Texas alone, 444 people died as a result of distracted driving crashes last year. Hundreds of lives lost because of a split-second decision to look down.
Get rid of the distraction. Put your phone away while you're behind the wheel.
Now, guys, the problem here in Texas is the police say that new texting ban is just kind of difficult to enforce, but lawmakers say they hope it's a step in the right direction. Doug, Leslie, we'll send it back to you.
All right. Thanks, Chris.